So today's distribution that I'll review uses free and open source software exclusively and is endorsed by the Free Software Foundation. Let's check it out. What's up guys, it's Josh back with another video, and today I wanted to show you guys another Linux distribution that's super dope. And like I said in the intro, it uses free and open source software exclusively. So there are no proprietary software on this system at all, and it's actually endorsed by the Free Software Foundation. And it also has a lot of privacy features enabled by default, such as, DuckDuckGo, as well as HTTPS everywhere browser extension. And the distribution I'm talking about is PureOS. So let's hop over to their website and check out this distro. Also, before we move forward, I wanted to give a quick shout out to CIQ as the official supporter of Rocky Linux, which I think is one of the best replacements for your CentOS server. If you haven't been paying attention, Red Hat announced in 2021 it will be going away with CentOS as the downstream clone for Red Hat. And Rocky Linux is here to pick up the pieces. So check out Rocky Linux at ciq.co. Alright, so we are at pureos.net. As you can see, it's a fully convergent, user-friendly, secure, and freedom-respecting OS for daily use. And it also says, with PureOS, you are the only one in control of your digital life, which is awesome. That's a great slogan to live by, especially with when it comes to software, because you should value your online privacy. And that's one cool thing about this distribution. That's one of the things that they value when building this operating system or putting it together, for you guys to actually use. And the current version of PureOS is 10.0. It was released a little while back. I'm not sure of the exact date, but it's been on my list to look at. I've never looked at this distribution before, and I'm excited to actually check it out, especially once I started doing some reading about it, how it's actually endorsed. It's one of the few, distributions that are endorsed by the Free Software Foundation. But just show you guys how to download it, and it's very simple. All you have to do is hit the download button. That'll take you over to where you can download it. It says download Byzantium, and I'm assuming that's the code word for it, but this is PureOS 10. The size of the iOS is 2 gigabytes, and it says this file contains a list of SHA-256 sums for the download. So we're good to go. All you have to do is click that in order to download the SHA-256, and they have a couple different flavors of it. They have a KDE Plasma, and the main one is a GNOME version, which we're going to install today is the GNOME version. And one cool thing about it is very simple on the installation. They use the Calimoris installer, which we all know is very simple to use to install the operating system on your hardware. And just to scroll down a little bit, they give you some information on how to flash it to a USB drive so you can install it on your physical laptop. You can use Etcher. That's one of the things that I recommend people use to install the ISO, because most people are coming from Windows. You can install Etcher and write the ISO to your USB drive, and then boot up the operating system, and then go through the install. And they do have a installation steps, so you can check that out as well. Like I said, it uses that Calimoris installer, so it's very simple to use, and then also they have a upgrade process, so you can go down here and check out the upgrade process. And also this is a Debian based distribution. I forgot to say that in the beginning, but it's Debian based, and the origin is from the country of France. So someone in France actually developed or put together this distribution with your privacy as well as free software in mind. So let's hop over to my ProxMox server so we can get this thing installed, and I can show you guys what it's all about. Okay, cool. So I had a virtual machine built. I believe I gave it 2 cores as well as like 8 gigs of memory, virtual memory, and then also a 32 gigabyte hard drive or a virtual hard drive for this distribution, and I did that based on the minimum requirements for the actual operating system. Most systems, you know, come with more than enough hardware for the actual distro, and the hardware requirements are kind of low, you know what I'm saying, just like any other Linux distro. So you don't need to worry about it using a whole lot of resources based on what I've seen. But this is the boot menu for the live ISO, and I wanted to show you guys that so you guys can see exactly what'll pop up soon as you know, boot up the system and get into the boot menu. But test or install PureOS is the first option. Now there is a fail-safe version, and then under advanced options, I don't know what's under there. I'm not gonna click on it, but I'm sure it probably has some test memory, you know, tools and stuff like that in order to help you boot up the operating system. But let's go on and test or install PureOS. Click that first option. That should be the one you want to do if you're trying to install this. And sorry, it's kind of small. I'm gonna correct the size once I get into the distribution. It always starts off kind of small with any distribution that I use, and that's only because I'm using this in a virtual machine. It will, you know, display on your monitor properly when you put it on your physical hardware. That's mainly because I'm using, like I said, I'm using a virtual machine. But as you can see, the first thing that'll pop up is kind of like a welcome, and this is what will actually show up after you install it. I previously installed this operating system just to see what it's all about, so I can do some testing before I actually did this video, so I can show it to you properly. But this is kind of like a welcome screen. So you select your language. Mine is English. Hit next. The next thing is the keyboard. Hit next. And then also your privacy and location services is turned off by default, and that's the same way once you get it installed. But you can also connect to your online accounts. Right now they have Nextcloud, which is great. That's the only option that you have. Now you can obviously connect to your other ones if you want to, your Google and all that stuff, but they only want to use free and open source software on here. So Nextcloud is really the only option for you, which is great. Now let's skip that right fast and then hit start using PureOS. And this is our normal get starting for GNOME. As you can see, it gives you all those options. I'm gonna close that for right now because I'll show you guys that when it pops up after we get it installed. Now let's go down and fix these display settings right fast, and let's go down to 1360 by 768. That should work for us so you guys can see everything properly. Keep these changes. Let's go down and close that now. But this is PureOS. I can actually go through and show you the operating system right here, you know, what it actually looks like when it's installed on your hardware. And I recommend people get into the live ISO just to make sure that everything works with their hardware that they have on their system before they do an install and possibly run into problems because they don't have certain drivers installed and all that good stuff. But if we hit the activities menu, or what I kind of call the start menu, you'll see the installer right here. So all you have to do is click install PureOS. So let's go through the installer. And like I said, this is Calamoris. As you can see by the title up here, the name, that's the installer. And this is PureOS 10.0. And first step is to select your language. So American English for me, you can click on that and change it up. If you're anywhere in the world, your location, you can change that up as well. That's for the time and everything. System language, you know, the numbers and date locales will be set, you know, based on your location. So we can hit next, then our keyboard, next, we're good to go. Now this is one thing I thought was cool that I hadn't seen on any other distribution. If you check this out, you click erase disk. That's gonna auto format your drive or partition your drive for you, as well as delete any data on it. But one cool thing about PureOS, it forces you to encrypt the system, which is cool because you can uncheck that box, but as you can see, the next button is not there. So you have to have the system encrypted, which I think is super cool. You know what I'm saying? Because if your laptop gets stolen and your encryption password is different from your login password, you know what I'm saying, you don't share that with anyone, then your laptop is basically secure, so no one can actually get your data off the system because it's encrypted. Because typically if it's unencrypted, most people, if they want to get your data off, all they have to do is use a screwdriver and pop open your laptop, you know what I'm saying, and unhook the hard drive, plug it into another computer, and they have access to all your data. But if it's encrypted, then they need that password in order to decrypt the files on the drive. So it's great that they kind of force you to do this. So let's go down and type in a super strong password to encrypt our system. And then also, one thing I didn't say, you can do manual partitioning. So if you want to, you know, set up your drive, your partitions yourself, like your home directory on a different partition, you know, certain people put the etc on a different partition, or the void directory on a different partition, then you can do that yourself. And as you can see, it automatically picked up my hard drive, which is the virtual 32 gigabyte hard drive. And then it shows you the after. So it's an unpartitioned space currently, and then after you install, it'll, you know, this is the way it'll be set up. So boot, and then your PureOS operating system using Lux, which is encryption. And then also, this is the bootloader location, so we're good to go. So we can hit next there. Now you want to set up your account. So let's just type in my account, and I'm gonna name the system PureOS and OS. There we go. And then type in our super strong password. We are good to go. And type it in twice. Boom. And then you can log on automatically without asking a password, which I recommend you don't. You know what I'm saying? That's up to you. So we can hit next there, and this is the summary of what everything is going to be done when the system is installed. So let's go down and hit install, and then I'll be back when this actually finishes. Okay, cool. So the install is done. As you can see, PureOS 10.0 dev has been installed on the computer. You may restart your system to use the live environment. So we're just gonna click that box and then hit done, and it'll go on and reboot the system, and then we can boot in, and I'll show you guys what this operating system kind of is all about. All right, cool. So I rebooted the server, and first thing that'll pop up is the unlocking of your encrypted drive, and this is super cool right here. Typically when I see this, you know, like on my main systems, and I wish I could figure out how to do this on my main system, but it shows the command line and it basically asks for the password there. Well, this is cool that it has an image that pops up and basically saying that the system is locked. You have to type in your password in order to move forward to unlock the hard drive, and that's essentially what this is. Now, one cool thing about it right here as well, I like this little bar that goes across, and then you'll see when it gets to the end, it'll show like PureOS. There we go. So that's dope, you know what I'm saying, the way it, you know, it actually boots up. You know, you don't see the terminal going with everything that is trying to store up, like all the applications that is storing up, or tools that is storing up, you know, networking and all that stuff. You know how that all that pops up when you're booting up the operating system. They kind of, you know, hide all that, you know, so that's super dope. Now let's go down and log into her and type in our passwords. Boom. And then we're gonna have to fix the background again, or not the background, but the display settings again. But like I said, it's gonna show you that welcome page, but let's go down in and fix the screen so you guys can see everything a whole lot better. Now let's hit keep changes, close this, and show you guys the welcome screen. So exact same thing when we booted up the live operating system. So our keyboard, next, privacy settings are turned off by default, which is good. And we can skip our online accounts and then start using PureOS. And then also that GNOME menu will pop up. So as you can see, you got all your options. So getting started, common tasks, you know, switch tasks. This basically just gives you how to do pretty much everything. You can watch these little videos, launch applications, you know, using Windows and Workspace, you know, all the information about GNOME. And that should only pop up the first time, and you can go back to it by finding it under here. just hit show applications, and there should be a GNOME help under here based on what I remember. And if it's not, we could just type help, and that should bring, yeah, there we go. So and also I'm tripping, it's actually on the favorites bar, so you can click that there. Good to go. Now, as you can see, we got some updates that just popped up. So if you guys have used GNOME, you pretty much got this, you know what I'm saying. You can click under here, go to our software updater, and then it's gonna ask you if you want to update the system. So all we have to do is hit download. Good to go. And then restart and update, and it will restart the system. I'm not gonna do the restart because I kind of want to show you guys everything about the system. But if you're like new to GNOME, it's pretty simple to use. So on the right hand side at the top, you got your power settings, as well as networking and lock screen and all that good stuff, volume, everything that's up here pretty much is under here. So you can change your network settings. You can actually pull up your settings from here, which that's our GNOME settings, and then your power, you know, volume, all that good stuff. Now here is whatever you got plugged into the system. So let's say you got a USB plugged in still, then you can eject it here. You can eject and like I said, this is a virtual machine, so I just left that ISO on the system, but we are running off the hard drive. So we got a calendar up here, which we just clicked on, our notifications and all that good stuff. But calendar, events, you know, all that stuff, and that works well when you have your online accounts connected. So if you got, you know, a calendar in Nextcloud, then it'll sync with this or whatever and show you your events and all that stuff. You can add a world clock, and then also do not disturb, and that way it doesn't pop up with all those notifications all the time. Now under here, I just clicked on it, but I just wanted to show you guys again. But basically all your GNOME tools, all your GNOME applications, you can type up here and search. You can click under here and look through the applications that are on here. But we have boxes, calendar, cheese, clock, contacts, extensions, files, 4 in a row, input method, LibreOffice, which is cool to actually see Libre installed by default, lights off, maps, parental controls, photos, Polari, power statistics, rhythm box. So you got your music player on here, your settings, software and updates, text editor, to-do list, video player. So essentially everything you need. So let's go down there and open up the web browser. I want to see what this is right fast. Let's go about web. This is just basically a GNOME web, a simple, clean, beautiful web view of the web, powered by WebKit GTK 2.36.3. So that's what we got on here. You can obviously install other applications if you want to, like Firefox, or if you want to use proprietary software like like Chrome, then you can get that installed as well if you want to, because I know a lot of people, they can't live without Chrome or Firefox. You know what I'm saying? Firefox is probably a little bit better when it comes to privacy, but you can put Chrome on here, or at least Chromium, you know, on here. But terminal, and let's actually open it up, and just to show you guys how to update the system, you know, it's basically Debian. So sudo apt, they use the apt package manager. So sudo apt updates, and then we could do a sudo apt upgrade, and that'll upgrade our system for us. We automatically have a sudo account, just like any other, you know, account you create. When you're going through an install, it'll go through and install it. And it looks like I typed something in there wrong, that's why I didn't, you know, do it. But yeah, sudo. So press enter, and I'll go through and install our updates, and we can restart after that. It's no problem, but I just wanted to at least show you guys. And let's open up another one right fast, new window, and let's see if NeoFetch is installed, which is probably not. I always like NeoFetch. Yeah, it's not. So we'll have to wait till that get installed in order to, you know, install NeoFetch. NeoFetch is normally in the repositories, not 100% sure, but as you can see, you pretty much got everything you need as far as the software. And like I said, this thing is endorsed by the Free Software Foundation, so this, as if it values your freedom. You know what I'm saying? So that's one cool thing about this operating system, and that's why I wanted to kind of show it to you guys. Let's change our background, because kind of looks like I don't really like that background. Wish they selected something better when putting it together. But just like in any other GNOME distribution, you got awesome backgrounds that look super cool. Let's go into let's do that one. I like that one. So that's dope right there. And then just to go back into the settings right fast, just to show you guys these settings, just look through this, man. This is basically how you make changes to your desktop. You got your network settings, Bluetooth, backgrounds, notifications, search, applications. It's basically your default settings for the system, so you can go through and play around with it if you need to. You know what I'm saying? So let's go down and close that. And that's essentially all I wanted to show you guys. It's not much to really show. If you've used Linux before, then you probably understand all of this stuff. I'm not showing you anything new. You know what I'm saying? It's just, like I stated, this one is based around Debian, and it only uses free and open source software, exclusively. But like I said, you can put stuff on there you want to, but you know what I'm saying, if you want to follow the purpose for actually them creating this distribution is to only use free and open source software, then you would only want to use or install free and open source software. So it's a base for you, for people that want to roll that way. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you check out PureOS, because like I said, it's an awesome distribution. It's Debian based. It's worth it. It's worth checking out. You know what I'm saying? So please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, leave comments down in the comments below. And also, before I go, I do have memberships activated on my channel. So if you do want to support the channel, go on and sign up for our membership. I believe the lowest tier is $4.99. And it's just mainly to support the channel, to keep me going, keep me buying equipment for the system, as well as producing courses in the future. A lot of people are asking when my Linux Plus course is going to be released. When I do release it, I'll release it under the membership, because I kind of can't give that stuff away. I put a lot of time and effort into that course, so I really want to build up the membership so you guys can have access to that Linux Plus course, and that's mainly for people that are trying to get into the IT field. I know it's a lot of Linux people or Linux enthusiasts on my channel as well, but there also are a lot of people that are trying to get into the IT field, and the Linux Plus exam by CompTIA is a good cert to have in order to add to your resume, and it kind of makes you a well-rounded person in the IT field. And mainly what I was waiting for was me passing the latest version, and then also adjusting the course, because it's almost done. I just wanted to adjust the course to the latest version of the Linux Plus exam that should be released now. And I wanted to at least take the course myself, show that I passed the course. And so the training that I use is basically my training, and it's based on my experience taking the Linux Plus exam, the current one, the 005 version. That way you guys can have the best chance of passing this certification. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, keep it techie.